Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, so a couple of announcements. One, YouTube is changing how they how monetized videos show advertisements. Before, I could control if the advertisements were shown at the beginning, at the end, or in the middle, and I could choose between skippable and non-skippable videos. At this point, all I get to choose, it appears, is that I can monetize my videos. So if it's not by tomorrow, very, very soon, YouTube will determine what type of advertisements show up on my monetized videos and where they show up. So if you're suddenly getting hit with a bunch of advertisements, understand I have no control over it. If I did, they would be in the beginning and that would be the end of it. Okay? So that one's that. The other one was I had thrown a couple of posts on the community page recently about George Santos, expressing my frustration with the ethics committee. And I think part of that was my expectation of what the ethics committee could or could not do. I may not have had a proper understanding or realistic understanding of what they could do. So when they said that they weren't going to recommend expulsion, I was pissed. You know, the cards showed to me that they were going to hold him accountable, and it just looked like they were going to punt and kick the can down the road. And I was raging to my wife that, you know, this is like the play school version of ethics with George Santos. I mean, you couldn't get a simpler, more black and white case of unethical behavior if you tried. When they finally did release the report today, it actually was rather scathing. And they even found more crimes that they're referring to the DOJ. So I put a second post up on my community page basically saying, maybe I was a little bit too grumpy on that one. So Santos says he's planning on resigning. Yeah, sure, whatever. No, I'm sorry, not planning on resigning. Scratch that. He's planning on not running for re-election. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? I don't care about him running for re-election. I care about his butt being in there now. Now, apparently there's a rather energetic crowd that when Congress comes back after Thanksgiving, they may take up his expulsion from Congress. So I want to look at that. Okay. So George Santos, I hope I don't have to do too many more readings on this guy. I just would like to put him in my rear view mirror. And then maybe one day he'll just be that kind of smile and twinkle in your eye and joke when you talk about Republican drag queens. You know what I mean? Okay, so George Santos, what's going to be the energy around Congress when they come back in session with George Santos? What will happen will there be actually a movement to expel him? Okay, so we got the Seven of Swords. Basically, I think they think he's a thief. He's a crook, he's a thief, and he's a smear on, folks in the House and in politics right now are not held in high regard, and he's a smear on them. That's how bad things are. What's going to cross it? Agreements. Yeah, to actually get him to go, you're going to have Republicans and Democrats get together and do one of the most amazing things in the world, agree on something. Agree on morals and ethics. Mike Johnson might have a say on that. There was something in this AP News article saying that Mike Johnson did look at the, what quote, very troubling or very disturbing report on George Santos. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to do anything about it, but they did at least use the adjectives very disturbing. And I'm a simple orc when it comes to things. I don't like fancy words and innuendo and implications. Say what you mean. But I'm not a politician. Politicians and diplomats like to use, we want to protest in the strongest way possible, which sounds so watered down, but there's actually implications with it. I think what they're signaling when they're saying, very disturbing report, that it means he's not pleased and stuff needs to change, which is probably why Santos was saying, I'm not going to run for re-election. But a number of people in the House, especially those on the ethics committee, is like, I don't care. That's not enough. He needs to go. He needs to resign. So they know he's a crook, and folks have to work together if they're going to get rid of him. And you're going to have the leadership on board with this. I think that's what this is showing. I don't think you have to worry too much about Hakeem Jeffries getting on board with it, but will MAGA Mike get on board with it? In the past, death card. Okay, this report coming out, that's the end of his political career. It's done. His career is done. Whether he leaves his post or not is to be determined, but his political career is over. The minute that report came out, completely done. Current situation, Six of Swords, moving out of troubled waters into calmer shores. Him saying that he wasn't going to run for re-election, I think he was trying to, show that he's not going to stick around, so you don't need to do anything to him. But I don't think that's going to be enough. I really don't think that's going to be enough. There was some vague warnings about, people in the House need to really consider if they want to do this. And I think the implication was the precedent of asking this person to be removed. And apparently there's only been like 5 people removed from Congress prior to this potential removal. And I think they, Republican leadership anyways, wants folks to think about the gravity of what they're doing. Because if they get rid of this guy without him actually being convicted, will they have to do that for other House members? Because normally what they do is like, oh, well, he hasn't been convicted yet. He's just been indicted, so we can pretend like nothing's happening. Bob Menendez, for instance, in the Senate. Okay, calmer waters. Overarching energy. It's a nightmare. This is a real distraction. This is a real poke in the eye of the House of Representatives, especially for the Republicans. They're already just getting beaten down with public relation nightmares, and this is just one more. The lesson to be learned is the star card. Certainly Santos' star fell very, very quickly. This is a really nice card. This is the calm after the storm. So the report coming out is the storm, and this is them going on break and coming out. And then what are they going to do? Are they going to keep Santos in the pool, or are they going to dump him out and remove him? And I think they need to make up their mind, because, how to put it, what they do with Santos is going to be a reflection on the party itself. The Democrats are going to want him out of there, so they'll be able to take the moral high ground and say, this guy's a crook and we tried to get rid of him. Now it's up to the Republicans. So the Republicans have the stomach to get rid of somebody when they have such a narrow majority. And that's going to be the interesting one, isn't it? Because so far, anytime the sentence, gosh, I wonder if the Republicans will do the right thing, the moral or ethical thing, the answer is invariably no. They will do whatever convenient for them. Again, if they had a 30-man advantage in the House, Santos would be gone because it wouldn't impact them at all. But they don't. They have this narrow advantage. So now they have to decide, is it worth keeping him in the public relation nightmare he is, so that we can have a 5-person majority, or do we dump him because we can't get stuff done anyways? Right now, I would vote they're going to keep him because they don't have a spine amongst a lot of them. But the cards are saying they're going to get rid of him. This is like around Christmas time, they're going to toss him out. This is the 5 of Pentacles. This is behind the stained glasses are large institutions like Congress, and I believe this card came up the other day on my Santos reading. His treasurer and his campaign fundraiser are already pleaded guilty to crimes. Santos is going to go down with them. Do you get rid of him and save face? Basically, the New York Republicans that were elected at the same time as Santos want him gone because they don't want to be associated with him. It's just the rest of them. Again, Santos doesn't have any friends. He has no friends in Congress. He screwed over donors. He screwed over wealthy donors. He's misrepresented everything. He's an embarrassment. He lies. Like, he makes Donald Trump look absolutely honest. I think Donald Trump looks at George Santos and goes, wow, what a guy. And Trump might believe some of his lies. Okay, so the cards seem to indicate that he's going to get sent packing. Now, that 5 of coins could also be that Santos isn't fundraising at all. And in this AP News article, and I'll have that linked in the description, it talks about, when he said he wasn't going to run for re-election, he had like $28,000 in his coffers, which they were saying for an incumbent candidate is practically nothing. It's unheard of small. Oh, by the way, as I'm looking at here, Santos did blast the report as a disgusting political smear. Yeah, of course it is. He apparently was asked to come in and testify, and he wouldn't do it. He was evasive with any questions they asked him. He wasn't producing documents. Basically, he was obstructing. Now, it's not really obstruction of justice because I think everything's voluntary on there, but he wasn't providing any information to the panel. And they found some questionable expenses. Some stuff could have been explained away had he supplied the receipts, but he wouldn't do it. And so they looked like they found stuff like he took a trip to Vegas and charged things on that, and bought some clothes and things that Botox, anyone? Okay, what else do I want to throw on this one? Just a little 4-carder. Starting up. Let's do it after the budget. So in February of next year, February 2024, will George Santos be out of Congress? It's a mystery. There's confusion. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Depends if they have the strength to do it. We have the maturity there. It's not known yet. I think what this is telling me is that not yet. And I think what it is that the current head of the House, MAGA Mike here, doesn't have the strength to get rid of him. Doesn't want to get rid of him because they need that vote. Maybe it's that after it, maybe there's a negotiation if they'll keep him or not. But I don't think he's going to show the strength to get rid of him. I realize that seems like a contradiction of what I just read, but I'm putting a time frame on this one. The reason for the evil laugh is this card, the Queen of Swords. Almost like there's a woman coming in who will make the decision for them and, cut the tie and cut the BS. I will link that to to the name that shall not be mentioned that causes me to have to take drinks or shots whenever I mention that name. There's a reasonable chance that they won't get rid of him before the budget's passed. Were it me, and it's not, to me it's really obvious you're not going to get anything passed in the budget. No budgets are going to get passed. It's just not going to happen unless you have Democratic support. And so it doesn't matter if you have Santos or not, you still need the Democrats on board. So you could do the risk-free thing and get rid of him. But I just don't see it. Will they do it? Will they get rid of him? Will they actually have the moral and ethical courage to do it? Queen of Wands? Maybe. What's else? 7 of Wands. Will they do it? Maybe there's a better chance that they will than they won't. But Santos still has a fighting chance. It shouldn't be this close. Anyways, I'll throw on it again as we get a little bit closer and the energy sorts itself out. If there's a new female House Speaker who is a person of very strict ethics and morals, whether we agree with her ethics or morals or not, I know what the answer is going to be on that. Anyways, that's the end of this reading. Thank you very much for supporting my channel and for your likes and your shares and your comments and everything you do to help me out. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for helping feed the YouTube algorithm so my video makes it out to new viewers. And to those new viewers, welcome to the channel. I hope you found this reading interesting or insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.